Again.
And we're live, and I'm back. I've been off for 2 weeks. Well, I haven't. I was off for 1 week, but last week was mad, so I wasn't here. Hey, it's umbraCoffee,
Hello, everyone.
193. How are you, Marcin? And we've got Nurhak as well. How are you?
Oh, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to join you today.
It's great to have you. I've met you a few times. You've met at Spark and a few events, but like you've become more visible in the community over the past 2 years, maybe. Is that fair?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah.
And you're based in Bristol, right? You work at FreelanceSoft?
I work for FreelanceSoft, yes, and I'm based in Bristol. And as you say, like I've been more active over the past 2 years. That's basically, I joined the Umbraco Spark event and met all of you guys and learned more about the the friendly community. And ever since, I'm so happy to be part of the community and give back as much as I can.
Nice. And we learned today this is your first umbraCoffee appearance, but you already have a mug.
Yeah,
I do indeed. Yeah, again,
unusual order, but at least we here can put a checkbox next to the mugs delivered, and glad that you're proudly representing the umbraCoffee.
Yeah, very high quality mug, I should say. Like I recommend people to get one.
Still exclusive for umbraCoffee guests. So yeah, do what you do, share your work, be invited for one of the episodes, and you will receive a mug sooner or later. But hopefully you will receive one. Cool, Nurhak. So amazing to have you here. Of course, we will discuss some of your activity during the episode, but we can probably kick off with some of the Umbraco updates and some of the news being shared this week. Starting from a great again product update written by Runa and released on September 15th. Some overview, of course, new releases of Umbraco Forms and Umbraco Deploy, minor releases but with some cool features, and folders for Umbraco Forms, which were an amazing addition. And I saw Jeffrey's tweet, I don't know guys if you've seen that, relating to the Perplex Umbraco Forms on Steroid package, which had this functionality back in the days. So now it's built into Umbraco Forms, and we can just probably confirm that the development is consistent on these packages. The releases are really solid. I really, with the high confidence, I upgrade often, and I upgraded Umbraco Forms recently without any issues in many projects, and it's great to see them coming.
We were running the RC of 8.8 on one of our sites, and they've all been pretty stable. And I was going to add, I saw Andy earlier in the week posted a job listing for another developer at Umbraco HQ, kind of sitting within his team, but working more on integrations, which is really cool because it just shows that side of the company's growing, of course, and they've hired some really talented people from the community as well. I know Ronald's working at HQ at the minute as well on all of these things. So the product's just going to get better and better, isn't it?
So Callum, you said you have had a chance to try Umbraco Forms on V9 RC3? Is that correct?
No, I've tried the 8.8. We tried the 8.8 RC on V8 site, running it in production, in fact, and it was fine. So, we've not. I've played around with 9, but I've really not yet used it in anger, just because being.
I'm really looking forward to this Umbraco Forms package for V9 because at FreelanceSoft we've got a few projects, and hopefully we are going to move to V9 or V10, and Forms, Umbraco Forms, we use Umbraco Forms a lot. So it's a chance to try Umbraco Forms with the V9 RC3 project, hopefully. So just to get an idea about the new features, etc. So great news, yeah.
V9, of course, was talked about this week as well, where we've got an RC3 that came out a couple of weeks back, I think, actually. But a confirmed official release date. I mean, I think that's been the official release date for a little while now, but it's been confirmed. There's a launch party, September 28th. It's a Wednesday. It's happening. There's going to be confetti, and I'm sure lots of celebrations, which will be really cool.
Everyone can sign up, right? And there's a really rough agenda shared here by the team on Umbraco HQ. There will be a show, and of course, confetti included. Sign up form is on the link and on the Umbraco blog, and of course, we'll share the links down below the video as every time we do it after the episode. So yeah, guys, it's 2 weeks from now on, right? So and Nurhak, you've mentioned that you've been playing with some V9 explorations already, or you are planning to also do some kind of more migrations and movements to V9. What is your, I don't know, observations so far? Anything what concerns you? Anything what, I don't know, makes you happier after seeing V9?
So far all I can say, like I am a much happier developer with V9. It's just the performance improvement is amazing. If you have, if not, I know you have already joined a lot of community meetups, and if people have joined some of the meetups, they will have an idea about the performance improvement. Like we are talking about, like great improvements with the CPU usage, and page load times are now incredibly fast. So I've had a chance to work with the RC3 project, and it's just super fast comparing to Umbraco 8.
Did anyone see? I think it was amplified by Scott Hansman, but someone at Stack Overflow shared that they did an upgrade. They took their ad server, which is, I guess, a service that runs inside Stack Overflow, and it serves something like 30 million requests a day or an hour, maybe. It's serving a lot of traffic, and they upgraded from .NET 4.6 to .NET Core 5, and they've got a graph of like literally when it got deployed, and response times are like 10% of what they were, which is really, really incredible. Just of course they've had to refactor their code a bit, but they've not changed much. They're just running on the kind of latest runtime, which is fantastic. So we're going to get all of that benefit, all those goodnesses with Umbraco too.
Yeah. It's like to me, like it is like 100% great news. This is also a chance to migrate the old .NET framework kind of code base over to .NET Core and get all of like packages ready for .NET Core, because at Freelancer we've got lots of internal packages. They're all like .NET framework packages, and this is our chance to move to .NET Core, which is fantastic from a developer's point of view, and also from really anybody's point of view, because it's a great performance improvement.
Yeah, I think a lot of developers who were working with Umbraco projects awaited the moment where the core will be there, because they wanted to do the most recent stuff, and also more and more people sees the advantages of just switching the framework. And Callum, what you've mentioned, there were some benchmarks on probably one of the open source Microsoft repositories with these graphs for just benchmarks between the specific methods on the frameworks. So I'm not surprised by these decreases in various metrics, but if we'll see more of that, cost will go down, performance will go up, and general perception of using Umbraco as a software will hopefully get increased. So more of that to come, and definitely.
I know that I follow a few people that work at Just Eat and stuff, and they're really big at, like, as soon as an RC or a preview comes out, they upgrade their services, and they're like, okay, we're gonna try it and see what's broken or what's changed. No. And people are doing that now. People are kind of treating almost the runtime like a NuGet package or something, where it's just a dependency, and you update it and you try and it works and you get some improvements, which is really cool. I know we've got .NET 6 coming in November, which is bringing a few performance improvements, but the big things like syntactic stuff, so we're getting lightweight APIs and things. And all of this stuff's going to work with Umbraco 9. I even believe Bjarke shared that he tried it on a preview of .NET 6 and it worked. Or maybe it was Carol, I'm not sure. Someone said that they did.
Yeah, I think it could be Carol. Yeah.
We're getting all this great stuff. And finally, I think this great stuff's been happening for years in the Microsoft ecosystem, but we've been so far behind, we've not been able to take advantage of it. So this is just kind of getting used to the new, shiny green world of the .NET ecosystem.
And I think, like, for a lot of people, like, it's now people can understand like Umbraco's plan over the past maybe 4 or 5 years much better. That code changed from V7 to V8. That was a fantastic job. They got rid of a lot of like legacy code and improved the code base. And now we have got this .NET Core move, and simply moving project from .NET Framework to .NET Core without changing much of the code base, and that's such a great planning. So well done to everybody who have taken part in this.
And so, yeah, how we can contribute, probably we can celebrate together on this September 28th, and then use it, find some more interesting stuff to enhance the Umbraco with. And of course, September 28th between 2:30 and 4 Central European time zone checker included here, so everyone can check it out, subscribe. And if we were talking about using RCs or maybe early releases as a production build, we've been teased today by HQ member Sebastian, who shared his blog. For old timers and people who are doing Umbraco since version, I believe I started with V4 when I first found the Sebastian's blog. Right now, his blog, Cultiv NL, is running on Umbraco 9, on Umbraco Cloud as well. So if we can say with something that this is production ready, it is production ready. It has some sites already running on top of that. They are working. They are possible to be upgraded. And again, I believe that Sebastian's blog was migrated somehow to this version because content, of course, is here. So yeah, good stuff. Good to see that the more and more projects are getting there, and will probably also be used to explore potential feature upgrades or issues and stuff like that. So
this is a really interesting one. As you say, this site's been around for a long time, and I'm going to hazard a guess that it was built in XLT probably right at the start, and maybe has been upgraded over time. But I'd love to know how much like gardening of the code that Seb has actually done over the years, and how easy therefore was the upgrade from, say, I assume it was on 8, from 8 to 9. Did he totally rewrite it, or has this been a kind of methodical process over the years, or was there still some XLT knocking around? Maybe not in V8, but how long ago was all of that stuff still there? I want to know.
We need to invite Sebastian to some kind of knowledge sharing session or demo, and then find it out. But yeah, that's a really interesting topic, and hopefully we'll find it out one day. But yeah, V9, it's proved it's working, it's running, and it's exciting to see.
It's a migration.
Sebastian just answered that him. Yeah.
I was going to say one very interesting thing that people may have missed on the V9 release. Of course, V9 is coming on 28th of September, and V817, which we've got an RC for right now, is coming on the following Tuesday, or the following, maybe even 2 weeks after, 7th of October, I think. Now, 817 its big feature is we're getting tabs, and we're getting all of that nice new experience. That's all in the latest V9 RC. So actually, we're going to get all of V817's features in V9 before 817 comes out, which is really cool. So people have been saying ever since V8 came out, why is there no tabs? And the answer is you have to wait till V9, and then it's going to come in V8 after. But coming to V9 first, which is kind of quite funny, quite poetic. That's just come full circle, and we're starting V9 with tabs in there.
Yeah. That's a big moment in the history, hopefully again. But yeah, that's a good excuse to have to be in the position to wait because of the new and exciting release. I've mentioned knowledge sharing not without a reason, and as we have you here, Nurhak, I think it's important to discuss how you've become involved recently in knowledge sharing, because you've joined the probably one of the most challenging challenges I've seen across the dev community, which is called 100 Days of Code. And you've decided, together with Paul Seal as well from around of Umbraco community here, to share some Umbraco-related knowledge during this challenge. Can you tell us and our viewers more about it and about your plan, what you are planning to do, and what you are going to share within this challenge?
Yeah. So as a developer, I try to improve myself like over time, every day. But the problem is you generally don't have enough time, because you've got responsibilities at work, and if you've got family if you've got children, then the moment you finish working, then childcare starts. So I needed a way to kind of motivate me to spend some time for personal development every day. And I was so lucky to see Paul's tweet. And I follow Paul, like he's like one of the guys that I follow, and he helps everybody, including myself. So I saw the idea, and I was like, that's a good idea, this 100 days of code you spare like as much as you can read it, but ideally 1 hour every day. And first, you should have a plan, so you know like what you want to learn over the next like 100 days. And every day you spend like 1 hour minimum if you can, just to improve your skills. And that's what I've been doing like over the past like 16 days now. And like time just flies by, and it's already like 15, 16 days over. And I have used this challenge to learn more about Umbraco V9, because I need to know more about V9 to migrate my V7 projects and also some of our like V8 projects to V9. And I also wanted to spend more time for some of the Umbraco packages for V9, like Models Builder, using and Vendor, etc. Because I'll be using hopefully at least some of these packages for V9. So this 100 days of code challenge has given me the motivation that I have needed, and I strongly recommend it to anybody. You don't have to be a developer really. You can any profession, even if you don't have any like if for students, for anybody, just spare some time, just dedicate yourself to learn more about it. And my plan is to learn as much as possible about V9, and I've already improved my skills for .NET Core before starting working on V9, because a lot of things have changed from .NET Framework to .NET Core, like the dependency injection, for example, one of the biggest changes. And it's just and also there are some tag helpers, etc., which Umbraco also has mentioned on one of their like latest posts, blogs. And also like I am heavily a backend developer, so I'd like to also use this opportunity to improve my like front-end skills, because a lot of backend developers, we try everything to stay away from front-end development, but I think we should make our hands dirty a bit. So yeah, it's a good challenge. Hopefully, I will do it like every day.
Definitely, it's a great way of learning new skills. I know it's been a big movement online, hasn't it? In fact, I put the 100 Days of Code hashtag on the tweet to promote this episode, and it got retweeted by like 10 bots in a couple of seconds. So there's clearly a lot of activity around that. I know personally people who've done the challenge like 5-6 times. Like they just do it to learn new skills, and it's a good way. It's also a commitment, and I think something that we've discussed before is that it doesn't have to be 100 consecutive days. Like if you want to take a break, that's absolutely fine. But it is a great way to get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
And I like that Paul's been sharing his journey along the way as well, because he had a problem with, I think, his one that he was doing yesterday or the day before, and he asked for some help, and the community helped, which is awesome.
Yeah, that part is really great. And maybe this is also good to like create like a daily routine even after 100 days. I'm hoping that I will have this habit to improve my skills like every day, like dedicate a certain amount of time every day. So maybe I will continue with 101 days of
10,000 days of
then 1,000 exactly. That's go big or go home with that. Then. But I remember, Callum, you've been also attending this conference. It was a Dutch festival when Eleftheria shared her journey with the 100 days of, and it was first time when I heard about it. And now
same talk at Code Garden. I think the same talk.
Yes. Yeah, but then I remember that I've attended this in Netherlands, and I remember how I was amazed by that, because it really requires consistency. It requires some routines, requires some habits, as you've mentioned, Nurhak. And I think it's really important and it's really helpful, because if we can commit to something like that and dedicate this time, we not only benefit from it from the normal knowledge perspective, but also from the self-organization perspective and the self-improvement, self-development. So again, two pieces can be done in the same time, and yeah, big fingers crossed for you both participating in the Umbraco area at least, and yeah, hopefully more people will join. And also I spoke with sorry.
So it also helps, like if you, I've got a family here, and it also helps with my wife as well. So I just say, look, I've got this challenge. Okay, I have to dedicate like 1 hour every day. So rather than doing childcare, washing the dishes, whatever, I'll just go upstairs into my room. So it helps a lot.
But yeah,
Until it takes
having you're right.
1 hour.
Having set time aside to actually get stuff done helps. I know, Marcin, you're a big fan of like planning and scheduling and setting time aside to work on things, aren't you? And I struggle with that big time. My days are chaos, but it's having structure is helpful.
Did you see my Instagram story or about TED Talk? It was interesting. The TED Talk is saying that, guys, organize your time or something. And then the guy said, "Ooh, big exciting news, life changer," and stuff like that. But it's really about that. And I was completely disorganized person, and I still am in the most of my times. But planning helps, and I even have a plan for today, one by one, list written down, not on my computer because it needs to be written down, it needs to lie in front of my face to remind me about it, and I cross it over during the day, and that makes me feel happy of accomplishing stuff. And it's same with the 100 days of code. I did a similar challenge back in the days with Instagram pictures and knowledge sharing. I was aiming to share one piece of content every day. It was a constant list on my element. It was constant element on my to-do list every day, and it was just crossed over day after the day. And it was for 3 months probably, if I remember correctly. And I made it, right. So it's still dedication, consistency, probably a game of priorities again, to postpone something else or to do something like that in exchange of something else. But in the overall, in the most cases, I think it's worth it, and it's not not that time consuming as most of us can think.
I was going to add as well, of course, Hacktoberfest coming up in October, and if you're doing 100 days of code, I mean, there's no excuse not to try and contribute something. And I know that last year I specifically set some time aside because I really wanted to make sure I was going to contribute, and I decided to commit to doing a weekly live stream at a certain time. So that was like, I'm publicly accountable. I'm going to be there, and you can watch me do it if you want. And I did. I managed it quite easily last year, and it didn't feel like a chore or anything. So I'm going to do it again. But it would be great to see some other people maybe do the same. I know that Carl Saguna, who's in the chat, hey Carl, he's done some Twitch streams before. Maybe any of the 100 Days of Code crew could just share what they're up to, or people could collaborate on pull requests or something. I don't know. It would be great to be a bit more, social for Hacktoberfest, perhaps.
Yeah. My plan, actually, Callum. What's also part of my plan. Hopefully, I'm gonna merge the like this Hacktoberfest with my challenge, and also I've got some other plans. Like I would like to a bit like what Paul has been doing. I'm also myself a blogger. I've been writing for nearly 10 years. I've got my own personal blog website, and at work we generally have got quite a few new starters, and some of them, they don't have much Umbraco experience, and you end up showing them things each time. So I think maybe I always recommend them all the community members videos on YouTube, especially, and their blog posts. But I think what I want to do, I also would like to create some YouTube videos, maybe small videos here is to set up a V9 website. Here is how to install Models Builder and use it, and here are the details of it, and so on. So hopefully it will help me learn more about it, and also I can use it at work, and also people can reach them. So that's my plan. So that's going to be part of my challenge, as well as maybe writing for 24 days, Umbraco calendar, because I wrote for 24 days last year. That was such a great experience, and I would like to write again, but hopefully my challenge is going to give me a good idea, and then
but that's exactly what we were discussing with Jan last week. It was about reusing your content, right? So all of your experiences, all of your knowledge being shared within the challenge itself, within any other channels or blogs or videos, anything like that, it can be easily reused and ported to even 24 days blog post. There are some pieces of content which you can combine, make a series and stuff like that. Script articles are the same, and it's not like you've posted something on your blog and everyone already seen it. It's not working like that. We all know know that. Same with the tweets or any other social medias. It's always worth to remind it and repost it or reshare it. So I think, again, maybe as a follow-up to last week's call to action is like, if you have anything interesting to share, use any kind of motivation to do it. And either if it is challenge, 24 days, your personal blog, company blog, or personal motivation to achieve something more, whatever it is, it needs to be something to feel committed to something like that, right? And it's that's why I admire everyone who is taking part in any kind of contest like that, because I know how much efforts is required to commit to that. So yeah, and Warren also posted that we need to all share. We need to all get better as a community, because the power is in the people's minds, I believe. And if we won't get it from the inside, no one will learn faster, and we won't accomplish more.
I've heard you, Marcin, saying this a couple of times. Like, it doesn't have to be something completely unique. You can always share like similar content. Maybe you will discover a different. A new detail, and like obviously writing stuff, it helps you a lot to learn more about it. So,
your perspective, your approach, your solution is valuable, even if it's a thing that's as old as time. Like an example I would draw is sitemaps. Like, everyone's got a different approach to building sitemaps in their Umbraco sites, but like, share it. It's cool. People, we can all learn from each other then.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Let's do it. I almost forgot that it's almost October, to be honest. So.
I mean, we're half. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's halfway through September, but it is. Yeah.
When and how? But yeah, Hacktoberfest is upcoming, and that's also an amazing motivation to do more and contribute more on various channels. Package releases. Let's kick it off with the ones which we've mentioned already. So Umbraco Forms and Umbraco Deploy. There was a dedicated blog post shared by Andy this week, describing what has changed, what's new, and also how to play with it, how to test it. So if anyone is interested, what are the upgrades included in these two packages, go and check it out. And there is a plan to safely release and test it on Umbraco V9 as well. The next one is Umbraco Forms extension element of the using package, what Kevin shared and presented on umbraCoffee 2 weeks ago. So it's on NuGet already. It's a release candidate for V8.
So it's released
V8.
now?
No, it's released now.
Exactly released.
So it's misleading release notes here, so
yeah,
to be updated. But yeah, 8.01 is released, 29 downloads already from NuGet. Everyone who is using Forms and using will definitely be happy to use it. And one really important package and one important message for people who are relying on Azure file system providers, for example, because there was an announcement and information shared that there is a how it was named, the V3 aka V release of system providers for Azure is out. So we can all benefit from the performance upgrades, from the improvements in the file systems.
This one basically boosts the Azure dependencies up to the very latest SDK versions.
Yep.
And just aligns all of the calls for that. But this, as has been confirmed in the project there, this project's kind of being sunset, at least for Umbraco 9 going forward. We're going to be recommended to use the core default one, whereas there is the existing one that was Jevon and James South have worked on for a long time is kind of going to stop at 8, which is end of an era, but it makes sense that HQ would support such a critical thing as well. But still, if you're using 8, upgrade, because I think there'll be a load of benefits in that latest Azure version, SDK version.
And documentation is really great here, and I think we won't have issues with upgrading and configuring it, even if we are not that familiar yet with the new approaches. So great to see it, and it was one of the probably most awaited extension packages by many developers, because a lot of us are running the sites on Azure and heavily relies on file system providers there. So yeah, good to see it
this one
coming.
isn't on. This one isn't on NuGet just yet, but it is on the private feed, so you can use the Umbraco MyGet feed and get it.
Cool.
Could be another challenge to try, the storage provider package actually on the V9.
Yeah, I mean, there's been S3 storage providers in the past. We should very much have an S3 storage provider, and I know that there's others that I've worked with before, Cloudinary and a few others. Like there's big storage systems out there that we probably should just try and integrate with. So yeah. And it's great to have an HQ owned thing now that we can contribute to.
Cool. The next one on the list is Umazel starter kit upgrade with some really cool set of enhancements for the starter kit here for Umbraco version 8. Nurhak, did you use any of the starter kits or frameworks like that for your website?
I used the when I was playing with the V9 project, I used the Umbraco starter kit, the one that you just install by default. And it's very handy, obviously, because you've got all the document types, content pages, they're already templates, so you can just make your hands dirty, using the existing data. It's very handy, yes. And I think it could be also good to, whenever you start working on a fresh new project, you can always, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't install the starter kit. You can always, change them. So yeah, I use it, and I think it's very helpful.
So right now we have 3 or 4 really full of features starter kits ready to be used on V8. Probably the matter of time when they will be ported and migrated to V9. Umazel is one of them, and it's great to see constant updates and upgrades in them. The next package update is beta number 6, probably, from Nick and his page not found manager. Which was also tested by Paul, if I'm correct, during the 100 days of code challenge or one of the tries. It's a new version for the new release candidate of Umbraco V9. It's page not found manager helps you to manage the 404s pages for the sign. And last but not least on the packages upgrade it's one from my good friend with who we were working with back in the days, Piotrek from Poland, together with Wojtek from another company. They've released a package called Dedicated Media Folder, and I must admit that the way how they promoted it, the way how they presented it is amazing, because there is a video, really descriptive video on. Yeah, very very great video describing what the package can do, how it can be configured, what's the package in general. And package has some free trial and paid offering, but generally the package helps to manage medias within the directories. And Callum, you've probably also remember that, but Wojtek was managing a really big site when it comes to the news and blog content, and this is something what their editors were screaming for. They wanted to just organize their media within the blogs or the post itself, and thanks to this package they can do it, and they can easily browse the medias in this structure like that.
Yeah, so this does, it effectively builds out a folder structure in the media library to represent the content structure and dumps all of the media files in that relevant folder, doesn't it? And then you can easily jump to that folder straight away and see everything. One thing I would love to see, and this would be kind of taking it just one step further, is if somewhere in the content node we could see a list of we could actually see the media items that are attached, and you could click into them and edit it straight away. So if, even in the info tab or something, kind of like where we have here's the list of redirects that's available, it would be so cool to just see here's a list of your media items as well. And maybe because also Umbraco is already tracking that, so maybe this is something that goes in the core rather than this package. I don't know, but
we had this discussion on a Facebook group for Umbraco web developers, and I've mentioned the Nexu way of relating medias with content, and still we all know, Umbraco also knows that media section is the one which probably will be the one receiving the more love in the upcoming months after
Mm-hmm.
the big releases. And this kind of relations, this kind of orphans, for example, to be removed, right, and stuff like that. This is extremely helpful in the long term, especially in the big projects like heavily news sites. And yeah, I think guys are constantly thinking about it. After quick chats, we've discovered that there is a huge list of potential enhancements for the package like that, and probably what we all can do is to bring some ideas and use cases, because I didn't have a use case like that, for example, in any of my previous projects, because we were relying on editors to organize their media structure. But yeah, if you are managing big project with let's say dozens of editors, you want to force some policy on them and maybe do something like that. So it's pretty
I think
cool.
a lot of
Pretty
charities could benefit from this package, like many big charities, and they constantly create content, and they generally have a lot of media. And after some time, if they don't structure their media section, then they might end up having like a long list of media items. This package would help.
Yeah, when they announced that, I thought that maybe it's a package with the dedicated media section for
I
editor.
thought the same, yeah.
Something like that, a single editor has the dedicated media section, and they are just operating within the dedicated folder or structure. And I also remember, I don't know who it was, but someone shared the pro tip of organizing medias to not start with the files, just allow to start with the folder.
Basically,
that was
amazing. If you go to any of the if you go to all of the media types that are not a folder, and just deselect allow it root, then you can't put them there. They all have to live under a folder, which it just makes so much sense. And I've been doing it on every project.
Yeah, same here. So yeah, there's more of that, and probably if we'll be dealing more and more with editors and more big sites like this one, for example, we'll find more use cases and more maybe answers from the Umbraco itself to satisfy editors on the higher, even maybe more enterprise level, I would say, right? So yeah, that's it from the packages side. And the next is Microsoft Ignite. Callum, you've been following some of the Microsoft upgrades, and there is a new Ignite conference on the way, November.
Yeah, there is. So 2nd to the 4th of November. There's always great content, great discussions. There's always way too much to even do anything with. But sign up. You can start browsing the agenda. You'll get all the updates as and when it comes out. They're running it virtually again. The virtual conferences have been pretty good. And I don't feel guilty for not. It's a free event. I don't feel guilty for not turning up to certain sessions, but I try and do a few. So yeah, sign up. Why not? It's free.
Yeah, we'll of course remind about it closer to the date. But yeah, it's good to see it coming. What next?
This video. I put this video in. Whilst we're talking about Microsoft, this is cool, and we can't play you the audio here, but the link will be down below. Highly recommend going and seeing this. So Donovan Brown, he's the kind of DevOps guru at Microsoft, and he's got a really good YouTube channel actually where he explains certain concepts and code things. It's great. Go watch the videos; they're fantastic. But in this video, he has used an Azure Cognitive Service to actually narrate the entire video. So it's basically augmented his voice, and you can tell that it's not quite right, but it's pretty good. So it doesn't sound too much. It doesn't sound too different to actually him speaking, which is really incredible. And I'm going to have to go and have a try with something like that now, because imagine I could just never turn up to a meeting in the future, just send my augmented voice.
Next time when you go on holiday, Callum, maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Of course, we will share the link to that, and I will listen to this more carefully after the live stream. But yeah, with the all GPT-3 functionalities, all the augmented services like that will no longer need to write, say anything, and do stuff soon. That's amazing, exciting times.
Maybe I'm not here. Maybe you have already done it.
Well, there was a video I saw. I think it was someone from BuzzFeed or one of those kind of companies, and he recorded himself sitting at his desk on like a loop, and he played it in a meeting for a week. And he had a switchboard, and he pre-programmed it so that he could easily chip in with a nothing for me to add type thing, and it was all fully automated. And then at the end of the week, it was like, so I've not actually been in any of the meetings all week, which is really cool. Someone should try that with this.
There was a big hacker news shared this week about the fake Instagram influencer. I don't know if you've seen that. There was a girl generated by AI who submitted some posts on Instagram platform and ended up after, I don't know how long period of time it was, but with 100 and more collaborations and contributions with some brands and other companies, and she was fake, right? She wasn't existing
AI,
at all.
That's amazing.
So yeah, and there was some bots and stuff like that. That's interesting how you can utilize that. But again, you need to you need to know how the mechanics behind some of the business models works, and then see where you can automate stuff. And that's impressive. And I will probably share some of my automations done somewhere in the future when I will finish describing them. But yeah, they're really cool and exciting times ahead, I think. Cool. Blog posts, other stuff to wrap up. A couple good blog posts shared this week, starting from Jesper and his blog about assigning images to content on upload. I think again, Jesper is sharing one blog a week right now. It's a good pace. Yeah, great
really
content.
Good quality. Go give him a follow. He's on Dev 2, isn't he? They're all on Dev 2.
Yeah. And this one is really cool. It utilizes some of the built-in events in Umbraco and services to relate and upload some of the stuff to bundle it together with some content items. So yeah, it's in theory you might consider it as a basic stuff, but still not that heavily used and not that well known across many developers. And still, use cases are driving the need for this kind of approaches. But it's great to see how it was done here, and yeah, quality of the blog is really cool. So check it out if you are looking for solutions like that.
I can see some composer code there as well.
Yep.
So that's like, I think still a lot of developers, they don't heavily use composers. They are still used to kind of old Umbraco event handlers.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see some nice code there. I'm sure like it's a nice blog. I'll take a look. I'll try to. That's part of my code challenge.
The next one is from Warren, and it's about what has changed from Umbraco 8 to 9. And I remember blog post shared by Perplex team. Callum, you probably also remember that. I don't know, Nurhak, about you, but it was highlighting all of the changes between version 7 and 8, and it was. Probably one of the most visited blog posts, which I was using when we were migrating all of the projects to V8 from V7, and now probably looks like it is something what we will be visiting a lot, thanks to Warren, when it comes to comparing V8 and V9, and it's a set of links, set of entry points to various changes which are bigger or smaller. And yeah, if we'll need to describe what has changed, it will be great to just copy and paste this link to. And it seems like a big and great work done by Warren here to describe it all.
This blog is really good because everything is there, like pretty much everything that you might need. They're all on one page with all the links on it. Mm-hmm. It's really handy.
So yeah. The thing on our list is a new Discord server, which is a new place to exchange some of the ideas and discussions. I still don't know how it will combine with Umbraco Community Slack channel, for example. It was described here, but it will be it was set by community members, and this one is owned by Umbraco. I joined today on the Discord server. There's a lot of discussions happening. Almost 60 or 70 people already joined there, so it's growing, and probably it will be growing pretty fast soon. And Discord, I don't know, guys, if you know, but it's amazing and easy to be extended with all the bots, automations, some of the really cool stuff like reminders. Many interesting stuff. I have it open, and there is even a bot informing about umbraCoffee videos being released on YouTube. So
I know that
is
for like the candid contributions events, Sven has made like a bingo bot, so you can play bingo in there and all kinds of stuff.
Exactly.
It's the candid contributions have their own Discord server, of course. I'm really not a fan. People that have taken part in the CanCon events will know that I'm not going anywhere near it. And I like Slack because I have all of my work in there and everything lives in there. But as John's saying in the chat, it's just another tool to add to the other 6 communication tools we already use. But there's benefits for communities. Like it's far more cost effective, and actually HQ can own it. And I think the content can at least be somewhat public in some way. I'm not quite sure. So, but yeah, there's a lot of other communities using Discord, and I know JavaScript communities have been quite active on it and stuff. So
yeah, I think what we can add to that is like Sebastian really well described why it was done like that, why the Discord server is created on top of these 6 others or even more channels to discuss stuff. And I agree with you, Callum. Here, I use Slack because it's work related as well. So another Slack channel is not that disruptive. And I have a Discord because we've used it in our school here for children, but I have it disabled. I'm avoiding real-time communication as much as I can everywhere, even on Slack. I have all the notifications disabled. But yeah, if we'll find out that this is amazing, there has a lot of news, for example, even from our umbraCoffee perspective. If the news aggregator and RSS listeners will deliver all of the news through the week, it will be easier to catch it up, pack it up, and find out what happened, what we missed, and stuff like that. So I see potential. I see why it was done like that. And yeah, fingers crossed to maybe convince all of us that the Discord is the one which we should, I don't know, stick to for more and for longer time.
I know people in the chat are saying about IRC, but I think actually Discord even supports IRC. So yeah, because it's originally
Nurhak, what about you? Do you use Discord? Do you have Discord installed on your computer?
I do actually. Yes, I use it only when it is time for Umbraco, Hacktoberfest, with the candid contributions generally. But I can, and I agree with Callum. Like I don't want to have like many tools installed on my computer, but I can also see the value of installing this because I understand they want to archive the conversations so that when people need it, they can always go back and find them. Because on Slack, they just get disappeared.
Here's a top tip for Slack. And whenever I want to be able to go and refer back to a conversation, you copy the link and bookmark it. You can still navigate to Slack messages via their link even after they've expired.
Via browser?
Yeah, because the message doesn't disappear, it doesn't get deleted. If you were to ever upgrade, the message comes back and the link still works. So I've got a handful of things maybe where I've given someone a really handy message with like a good explanation of something, or where someone else has done similar or come up with a great solution. I bookmark it and I can always go back to it. But it's a terrible solution, really. For a problem that shouldn't exist. And yeah, clearly Discord.
But you can't search for previous answers, right? If they're already gone.
Yeah, you can't search for them.
Yeah, that's the challenge. Of course, all of these tools are created for a purpose, not without a reason. Slack is having a payment policy like that to limit the number of messages. But yeah, Discord is amazing. I thought in the past that it's just for the voice connections for gamers, but it's not only for that.
That's where it really started, right?
There are threads there as well. You can stream across the channel. You can create your teams and stuff like that. So there's a lot of potential there, but still, it's community which needs to drive it. And I'm a participator of some cryptocurrency related Discord servers where there are some active upgrades, some signals and stuff like that, and it works automatically. And people are just enjoying that because it's automatic, and you can always just check it out whenever you can. Same as with Telegrams or Messengers group, who someone mentioned here. So it's people who are driving it. So we need to commit to something and stick to it and be sure that it's bringing value back. And if it will be Discord, that's amazing. And fingers crossed that it will be something like that, because we want to use something.
This tool could be used for some Umbraco conferences as well, if Umbraco, would like to invest into it.
Yeah.
Rather than using Zoom, maybe, this tool could be used.
Yeah, why not? Cool. The next thing from Umbraco HQ is Umbraco Marketplace. I've seen this news and I heard about it previously, and of course we've been all teased with some informations about after probably it was Code Garden when it was initially announced that there is something like that in the mind of HQ. So yeah, there will be a section on umbraco.com website where there will be some featured enhancements, packages, solutions to be used with Umbraco shared, right? And there are some great packages already like USkin, Marketing Suite, and more to be showcased there. And of course, hopefully it will be used as a reference point to what can be done, what can be used with Umbraco, and how we can use this as a puzzles to build some maybe wider solutions, bigger solutions with Umbraco somewhere.
I'm getting
What
a
do you guys
bit of
think about
deja
this
vu
idea?
here because, of course, umbraco.com/apps still exists. You can go there now,
Yep.
and it's basically what this is. But I think the difference here is that there's a bit more structure around it, and a bit more organization. There's a process for getting listed in there. You become a technology partner, and you get listed. The community will be present in there too. They've said, vendor and using these popular solutions that the community like will also be represented. And I think it's just going to be a bit better curated. The apps collection's a slightly strange collection, and including some solutions that are way out of date and stuff. But I look forward to seeing this, and it definitely ties in with this bigger DXP strategy, doesn't it? Where they're hiring an integrations developer who's clearly going to be there to work on either making the core ready to be extended with Salesforce integrations or similar, or actually developing integrations themselves that they can then sell as solutions, as packages, plugins for Umbraco. So I think with Umbraco behind that, kind of the ecosystem will thrive a bit more. The apps thing was a good effort a few years back, but probably didn't have the momentum behind it. So I'm interested by this. We'll see what happens.
Philip was talking about.
I think it will be.
Philip was talking about this actually recently in one of the meetup calls, and he mentioned like some campaign management stuff, some analysis, insights, and apparently it's going to be very easy for anybody to just use them, which is great for marketing people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think it will be also a good motivation for solution creators to aim to be listed there, to be present, to be visible, and again to gain some traction on their activities, because they rely on Umbraco. Umbraco can help them to be promoted via this kind of catalog and stuff like that. So that's huge potential.
Yes.
Hopefully it will be used like that, and we'll see a lot of great solutions there, which maybe we are not aware of if they are not that visible. Cool. Two last news. Standard segment on our recent umbraCoffees. It's new hires in Umbraco HQ. This week there is an extension to the fish tank team. It's Oana, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, originally from Romania, joining the fish tank team. And there is a blog, of course, about Oana and her new role and involvement in the Umbraco HQ. And there's Emil. And Emil is the expert cheeseburger critic. Sounds interesting. So yeah, I haven't read this article yet. I need to find out what it is about these cheeseburgers. So yeah, new extension to the cat team. So yeah, let's experience Anders talking about interesting. Yeah, find out more about Emil here on the blog. And yeah, Umbraco is growing constantly. I think we are not following all of the upgrades. Probably the blog posts are delivered with some delays as well. So yeah, the tempo and the pace of 2 new hires every week is maintained. And yeah, we'll see how it will grow over the.
I think they're looking for some developers too, aren't they? Like,
yep.
I've seen some posts on Twitter. They're looking for some, I think, experienced developers. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, and they
CTO.
Yeah, a new CTO as well as announced last week. So that's
Yep.
So yeah, there's definitely roles, and of course they've removed the location requirement that was there a few years back as well. If people were put off by that, so you can work from anywhere, especially UK and stuff. They've got a growing team here now too. So
yeah,
apply.
That's
They
great.
want to
And I
hire
think
more
that-
people from the UK. That's what Philip said again.
Yep.
And if they hire enough people, then maybe they will open a UK branch.
Warren needs some friends.
Yeah,
He needs
that would be good.
some people to hang out with.
yeah. Yeah, but there are some roles which are completely open to remote opportunities, but there are some roles which require some of the DK presence, and that's obvious because if the full office is operating in Denmark, in Odense, there are some roles which couldn't be easily applied, or maybe there's no vision for the roles to be applied like that. And yeah, Warren mentioned the jobs listing page, so yeah, everyone can check it out. It's on umbraco.com as well. Work at Umbraco, and I checked this page a couple of weeks back, and it's still changing. There is a lot of interesting information here from the not only employee perspective. So yeah, check it out and see if maybe you cannot help Umbraco grow and you yourself to work on the product like Umbraco in the long term.
Can I say something?
All from our list. Yeah?
Marcin, Callum, I've seen this on Facebook recently. It's really a little funny. I've seen someone posting on Facebook asking if you could just visit the Umbraco HQ, because apparently this person was visiting Denmark, and then he Odense, right? Is that where? Yeah. So
Yes.
he was visiting Odense, and he basically said if you could visit, just pop in to the Umbraco HQ, and that's something I would like to do one day. Like if I ever go to Odense, I just like to go and say hello.
I mean, it's definitely. I know pre-COVID, it was something they were very, very welcoming of, people just swinging by, come in for a coffee and a chat. And I don't know what the deal is at the moment, but and they opened up the HQ up for Code Garden as well. Like you have a big drinks party there and stuff. So they're very open and welcoming, friendly. Except that rabbit. Don't want to.
Rabbit, exactly. You can go and meet the rabbits.
Or chili ingredients in some of the
anything with chili in it.
Liquids. Yeah, in some of the liquids, but that's always dangerous. That's always dangerous. And yeah, I hope to revisit HQ soon after all of these changes, office growths, and new team members joining. It must be really interesting to see it, how it changed. So maybe next Code Garden or somewhere further in time we'll be able to do it. But yeah, I still remember my first visit in Odense. It was really exciting, and yeah, I think everyone who really wants to do it, and Nurhak, you as well, if you want to do it, it's definitely worth to see that. It's an amazing place, amazing town, and amazing vibe shared as well from the team perspective. So definitely worth it. So with this full of memories moment, we can end up and wrap up our episode this week. As usual, feel free to share it, subscribe, like it, comment it, let us know what we missed as well. And visit us as usual next week. Nurhak, thank you very much for joining us. It was a little bit delayed visit, but it's great to see your activity. I hope really you motivate more people to join this amazing challenge and all the knowledge sharing what you are doing recently. And yeah, everyone else can follow, can find you and your activity on Twitter and join the movement and do the same.
Thank you very much for having me today, and it has been a pleasure to join you today.
Great to have you.
So have a great rest of the day and the weekend, and we'll see each other on the next Friday.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good